Eskom will downgrade to stage 3 power cuts from 9 p.m. tonight, but this will do little to address the misery it's causing. Businesses, learning, healthcare facilities and service delivery have all been affected. Despite constant blackouts, electricity prices are still skyrocketing every year, and that has people talking. Our reporters are all over the story. Lindokuhle Xulu is in Johannesburg, Lethiwe Mdluli in Port Edward, and Nobesuthu Hejana is in Cape Town. Linda, we'll start with you. You spoke to Sattu about the impact of load shedding on teaching and learning. Talk to us about that.
Well, they spoke against the issues of load shedding, Shahan, the teachers' union, saying that there are dire consequences that come with electricity cuts. First of all, they spoke about teaching and learning at some ICT institutions, schools that have been upgraded to use tools such as those electronic boards, laptops, as well as tablets. They are saying that this then becomes a hindrance in terms of that. But that is not the worst of them all. The worst is the fact that some schools, in fact, are using electricity to power water and be able to have running water in some of those facilities. And they're saying that this becomes an issue because if there is no water, some of those schools would need to close shop very soon after the water cuts are implemented, and that would then be aligned with those electricity cuts. And lastly, they spoke about the issues of the feeding scheme, saying that feeding scheme is quite an important one for many children. They are supporting a lot, hundreds of thousands of children, and they're saying that these pupils, if they are not fed, how do we expect and how does government expect that they be able to teach, to learn during class? So those are some of the issues that Sattu has raised, saying that it is important for them to have electricity at all times. It is important to prioritize schools as points of priority when it comes to electricity. And they said that they want this to happen, and they want the message to government to say, please do not shut down electricity even when there is load shedding to schools, because they are important institutions, and with that backlog coming from COVID-19, it's something that they cannot afford to lose, which is time. But let's take a listen to Sattu just recalling some of those issues they had. We spoke to Olani Fagude, the spokesperson for the union, earlier on.
I must say that as a union, actually, we are quite disappointed because in terms of the energy supply situation in this country, we seem to be regressing and not moving forward. We move from stage 2. In fact, we are graduating to higher stages when we believe that actually we should be doing better. Now, our view, our very, very strong view is that we are severely affected. In fact, we are adversely affected also as educators within the classroom context. You would remember, Lindokuhle, that teaching and learning does not only happen in the classroom, it also happens at home. So therefore, there are tasks and activities that some of our learners need also to conduct, but then they are not able to do those without electricity. During the day, not all classes can actually receive natural light, which means it brings another challenge. But then you still have got schools that rely on water pumps, which are relying on electricity for them to be able to function. So you can see that we've got that part of those serious challenges. But then again, obviously, there are security concerns. We've got vandalism. We know that in this country, basically, we still view education perhaps sometimes as a bargaining chip for other issues, for instance. So we are saying as a union that maybe what needs to happen is that we need to start coming up with a very clear green energy strategy, which means that how then do we assist schools to get alternative sources of energy so that at least teaching and learning can continue.
Obviously, many sectors affected, Lindo. So nursing union Denosa also talking about the impact load shedding is having on healthcare facilities.
Not just speaking about the impact, but painting a very, very grim picture in terms of what happens in some hospitals when the power goes off. We would understand that many of these hospitals, if not all of them, have backup generators. But they also spoke about the fact that even with these facilities equipped with these generators, there's simply lack of maintenance, too much lack of maintenance of those generators, that sometimes the nursing staff would find themselves in the dark when these backup generators do not kick in. They even painted a grim picture of one instant where the health facility had to even use their phones as the nursing staff to actually continue conducting a childbirth process. So they are saying that these are some of the challenges they face, and in fact they even need to protect their nurses when it comes to lawsuits. But then they say that they are looking to actually put their message forward in terms of government and ensuring that they fix up in terms of the maintenance of these generators. But let's take a listen to nursing union just giving us a sense of what is it that they are looking for in government and recalling some of their in fact issues around these power cuts.
Unfortunately, there seem not to be any lessons from provinces like the Western Cape. Whenever we are touch basing with provinces, the Western Cape reports zero incidents mostly, because they say every Friday in the morning they test their generators and they refuel when there's a need to. Many institutions in other provinces like Gauteng, especially in the Sedibeng district, where many healthcare institutions are also hit the hardest by this, it's because of poor maintenance of our generators and also no money to buy diesel, for instance. It's a legal things, the legal basics that they are quite embarrassing to be still talking about in this day and age. I think it's since 2008 when we are announcing the issue of load shedding. It's a phenomenon that should be preparing for, but our main concern is the risk that our healthcare workers are facing as a result of this.